Hey there guys, Erica here from Highway49RC. Thank you so much to my patrons and channel members for making this video possible. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, so thank you very, very much. Obviously today, I am doing something paint related, something body related, considering I've got some paint, my touring car, a new body on the bench. That's because it's finally time to retire my poor old Cherry Blossom touring car body. I love this thing despite how much I hated it when I first painted it, but it just needs to go. It is so thrashed and I don't want to keep beating it up. So instead of the M410 body from Biddy Design, which is what this one is, I went with the Hyper HR body. I think this is a fairly new body from Biddy. Lots of very, I guess, harsh and standout-ish lines, which is pretty cool. Definitely aids itself to some cool paint scheme ideas and different ways to mask and such. Speaking of masking, I will be using the Biddy Design liquid mask again. It was really cool when Brian and I used it, so I want to give it another go. To apply it this time, however, I'm going to be going with some foam brushes. Somebody recommended that that's what they did, so I'm going to try that this time, see if it works any better. Maybe it'll give it a slightly thicker coating and make it easier to cut and peel. Who knows? We'll see. Then for paints, I'm mainly going to be using the Createx airbrush colors, but I also have a couple Proline paints. I've got fluorescent yellow, fluorescent blue, fluorescent pink, plain white, plain black, and some window tint as well. I'll go over my paint scheme a little bit more later once we get to that point, but I will say that we are going to be doing a paint scheme based off of the Trinity Speedworks 350 motor that my awesome Canadian viewer sent me not too long ago. Then to top it all off, to make this body really pop, I got a set of fresh wheels and tires. Got the tires from MST. These are the 80 realistic tires, 50 degrees. They've got some nice realistic tread on them, which is really what I was looking for. I didn't want rubber slicks. I wanted something a little more realistic. Some nice, fairly plain 7-spoke white wheels. And also I got some Speedmind hard blue inserts. I don't know how these are going to do. I thought, well, these look like something that a cool racer person would use. Am I a cool racer person? I mean, yeah, I hope so. So I figured I'd give these a shot too, see what they do. If I don't like them, there are, of course, the stock foams for the tires. So with all that covered, first thing I'm going to jump into doing is just getting the body cut out, getting body holes reamed, getting it fitted to the chassis, get the wing cut out, all that stuff ready to go, and then hopefully get to putting on some liquid mask tonight. Please excuse this quick PSA in lieu of music over this horrendously short time lapse. Do not buy GoPros. Please do not buy GoPros. I will never be buying another GoPro. GoPros suck. They are terribly unreliable pieces of garbage. I am so frustrated with mine and the amount of times that it will just not record things for me, cut out randomly, just up and decide that it doesn't want to work. I will not be buying another GoPro. I'm going to be looking into a better option in the near future. Thank you. I have successfully, undocumentedly, cut out my touring car body. It looks very nice. Probably one of the nicest cuts I've ever done. Very happy with the way that the wheel wells turned out. Very nice smooth curves. Also got the rear wing cut out. That looks quite snazzy as well. I did have to cut out a couple holes in the front hood here, or the bonnet, as you European folk would call it, to make room for my shock tower and shocks. It does give it the kind of cool secondary effect, though, of having it look like a pair of twin turbos sticking out of the hood. I think that's really cool. I might make some little, like, fake turbo, bits to go on there to make it look a little more turbo-esque, but I think that could be kind of cool. So, anyway, with all that said and done, and my rant about GoPros over, thank you for listening. Let's move on to some liquid mask. The reason that I'm gonna go with a foam brush as opposed to anything else is because I figure that if I use a bristled brush, I would be worried about getting some of the bristles in the liquid mask that would then either interrupt my cuts, cause layers of like portions of the liquid mask that are cut next to each other to peel up together when I don't want them. I guess well illustrated by the brush handle. Or it'll create pockets underneath the liquid mask where paint can get underneath, which obviously we don't want. So that's why I went with a foam brush. I don't know if that's what the person that suggested it intended, but I guess we're going to go with it and see what happens. So, okay. Huh. Alright, well that's not so bad. Kind of interesting. Okay. I'm not quite sure if this is going to make a nice coat or not. I have no idea, guys. I'm gonna put a couple coats on just like this, and then I guess I'll come back to you guys tomorrow morning with the results of what this ends up looking like. I'm a little curious, to be honest. See you in the morning. Good morning. So, I got 4 coats of liquid mask on the body last night. Overall, I'd say the brush method worked pretty well. I think it would probably be a little bit better if I had a body with less formed details. Like, as you can see, there's all sorts of little ridges and nooks and crannies that the liquid mask really likes to gather in. It was also getting kind of foamy, but I think that's just because of the kind of brush I was using. But this is 4 coats, looks pretty good. It feels nice and dry. It does kind of have the secondary benefit of allowing me to see some of the body lines a little bit more clearly than without, so I guess that is a plus. I did also put 3 coats on this little test swatch piece, just so I could see how it cuts and peels, see if it seems any different than spraying it. Give it a quick cut. Peel it up. It feels a little bit more durable actually than having it sprayed. I mean, these were fairly thick coats. I mean, even just 3 coats, it feels like it's a lot more substantial than having sprayed it. And I'm sure with the 4 coats on the body, that will also help quite a bit as well with peeling. Do another one just for good measure. Yeah, it seems like it peels up a lot more easily. So I guess having a thicker coat is a definite plus. So thus far, the brushing on liquid mask method is Erica approved, but we'll see how it goes with painting. Speaking of painting, we need to start drawing out the design on the body. I've got a fairly good idea. I'm gonna do a nice black outline around all the windows, just like a real car has. I think that'll make things pop a little bit better. And then for the actual paint scheme, I showed this in, I think, a stream or maybe a previous video. This is the scheme that we're going to go with. It's going to match the Trinity Speedworks 350 motor. Half blue, half pink. We're going to throw in some yellow details on there. And I'm not going to do the darker, like, lower border. I might add a few other things here and there. I'm not quite sure. I might outline the yellow with black. Again, not sure. But I'm going to get to drawing, and I will let you guys know where we end up. I've finished my drawing, and boy, let me tell you, I have some respect for the people that do this every day. My gosh, it is tricky. But I've got my paint splatters on there. This streak is going to be yellow. This streak down on the running board is going to be yellow. These little front louver dealies are going to be yellow. And these 2 back, I don't even know what those are, cool bumps are also going to be yellow. Now I get to deal with the fun task of cutting this all out. So boy, I'm not looking forward to that. And I really hope I don't miss any spots like I did on my slash body, because oh my gosh, that was so angering. It is unbelievable. Cutting, and the first paint color peel is done. So far so good. I gotta say the brush technique really has not affected the peeling and cutting at all. The only thing I will say is that in some of the really deep pockety ridges, I guess, it did get really thick, so I had to press a little extra hard. But otherwise it hasn't affected it at all, and has really made it a lot easier to peel up all the sections in one piece. The scrolls for the drips, oh my gosh, those were very difficult. So those are very, very difficult. Probably doesn't help that I was using a flat scalpel. Probably should have grabbed an actual X-Acto knife, but you know what, I made it work. So, all right, let's head out to the garage and get some black spraying. My layer of black is done here, so I'm ready to move on to peeling for blue. My airbrush is clean. I'm also going to be backing the blue with white just to make sure that it's nice and bright. Same with all the other colors since I am using fluorescence. Probably a good idea to back it with a nice opaque white. Later, all the paint is done on the body. All that's going to be left is to do the window tint and put the white enamel backer that I like to use on it. As a matter of fact though, I am out of that, so I'm going to go get some lunch, pick up some of that, so we'll get back here, get this body finished up. And in terms of the brushed on liquid mask, no problems whatsoever, so that method is 100% Erica approved. Snack has been installed. Energy drink is being consumed, and I did not get my normal tester's enamel paint. I got this instead. Am I about to ruin this body? Yeah, probably, but Ace didn't have the tester's enamel. My local hobby shop didn't have it. None of the local hardware stores around that I know of carry that kind of stuff. So this is what we got to work with because I want to get this done today. So is it going to ruin it? Yeah, maybe. Only one way to find out though, right? Let's get to it. My dumbass just had to go and ruin what was gonna be the best paint job I'd ever done. My Proline window tint was so settled, it would just continually plug my airbrush. I mixed it for at least probably half an hour on the freaking Sawzall, and it still just kept on plugging it, so I threw that out. I grabbed this PS31 smoke from Tamiya, and I was like, okay, good last resort, right? Yeah, it was, until it freaking started to melt the enamel paint that I got, so it's all nasty and wrinkly now. It basically kind of remelted that, and it then wiped off and smudged up the front windshield when I decided to wipe the smoke off because I thought that it looked like crap because there was dust in it. Just made it worse. And then I was like, okay, well, let's put more on and just try and make it maybe look better. And then I had to stick my finger in it to try and get a drip out, and that made it even freaking worse. And now it doesn't even look like the windows have tint or smoke on them at all. It just looks like they're freaking black. What a piece of junk. And then, of course, I had to use not even a single brain cell to go and buy semi-gloss enamel, not gloss, because I don't even know why I did, without thinking that I was going to paint the wing white, so now this is semi-gloss. What a freaking waste of time. I mean, I'm already close to 18 hours into this video. I don't have another body to restart, obviously, so I guess we're gonna finish the video at this point. I don't think the enamel is actually gonna like re-dry now that I've sprayed this Tamiya paint on there. So I think that's all just gonna probably flake off. Freaking idiot. I don't know why. Like, all I had to do was not touch it, and then I had to go and freaking touch it. Well, let's go mount some wheels and tires, I guess. See if we can't ruin those too. Wheels and tires are mounted. I barely had any CA glue that was not dried up, but thankfully I had just enough. And also thankfully, I remembered to mount a left and a right set because these are directional tires. If I hadn't done that, man, I would have absolutely flipped out. I guess I never showed you guys why I got new wheels and tires to begin with, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory after seeing that. The body's had a bit more time to dry now, so I'm gonna peel the protective coating off of it, and we're gonna see how the paint job really turned out. I'm a little nervous. I've cooled down a bit from earlier. I think it's gonna be better than I thought it was, but only one way to find out. Let's try and find an edge on this blasted thing. There we go. Okay, you know what? Yeah, that does look pretty sick. Okay, yeah. It's actually not bad. The drips, yeah, they look pretty cool. The colors, yeah, they really do pop. The window tints, when it's actually on the car, it's gonna look pretty dark, which is a bummer. And the front windshield, boy, did I do a number on that one. But aside from that, I guess, it's not too bad. The little black lines on these louvers, I'm undecided. I guess they look okay. The black lines on these louvers, I think look great. There's a little bit of gunk around this body post hole, which is a little annoying. And one of the stickers on the protective film left a weird circle on the roof there. I don't think you guys can see that on camera, but it's there and it's strange. But overall, not too bad. Not as bad as I was making it out to be. So, let's get some stickers on this thing. And there it is, guys. There is the finished Trinity Speedworks 350 themed paint job on this Biddy Design Hyper HR body. I know I bitched and bitched and bitched about it. It's freaking cool. This is a really, really nice paint job. I got some very kind words on Discord about it, so thank you to those who commented on it. It does look really cool. I gotta admit, the colors on camera look a little funky because they're fluorescents. But in person, they pop, man. They really, really pop. I mean, the lines are all really clean. Something I did do off camera is I cut out the shock holes in the hood a little bit more. And I also added this cross brace in the center just to strengthen the body up a little bit. That is actually a piece of an Axial SCX-10 battery tray. Yep. It looks cool though, I gotta admit, and it serves a bit of a purpose as well. So with that, if you did enjoy, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. If this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me, make sure you're down, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing behind the scenes, check out my Instagram or Discord server. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member or joining my Patreon. That's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.